This might be a final part, but I'm not sure. But this is going to be a part 6 video of my updated Thomas & Friends DVD collection. Alright, here we go. Now we're on the Thomas & Friends sampler DVDs and homemade custom DVDs. Alright, here we go. We'll start with the sampler Thomas DVDs. Alright. Here's the first Thomas & Friends sampler DVD I burned. This is Thomas & Friends Fun with Thomas 2 Thomas Adventures 2003 DVD. Now here are the take-along DVDs. 3 actual take-along classic take-along Thomas DVDs. Here's Thomas and the Special Letter 2003 take-along DVD. And I did upload these to YouTube. I did upload full video if you want to check it out, but I had to upload this with 2 parts because the first episode did not get blocked, but Fish, the Runaway didn't get blocked, but Fish does block. But if I was gonna make it available, I have to upload with 2 parts, not a single video, because Fish probably was blocked on YouTube. So yeah, here's Thomas and the Special Letter, Henry and the Elephant, and James in the Trouble with Trees. They do not get blocked on YouTube, which that's good. And here are the screening copies. I have 2 screening copies, which is Thomas the Soldier Celebration 2005 screening DVD, and here's Songs from the Station 2005 screening copy DVD. So yeah, and they don't have menus. Well, it's actually the first Thomas DVD, Fun with Thomas, that does not have a DVD menu. The Fun with Thomas comes with the Thomas Wooden Railway set. So yeah, here's Thomas Soldier Celebration screening copy, and the screening copy of Songs from the Station. Here's Cory Adventures on Sodor take along sampler DVD. It's Cory Adventures on Sodor. And here's this is a Tomy sampler DVD of the story of the Thomas and the Jet Engine. Yeah, it comes with a Tomy one. The real copy, I think this might be very rare, hard to find. Here are the take-along Thomas DVDs, which is the new model ones. It's just here's Emily's Adventures. Here's Emily's Adventure. Spick and Span take-along sampler DVD. Diesel from Thomas to the Rescue 2006 sampler DVD. Thomas and Friends Thomas's Birthday, which is the episodes of Thomas to the Rescue and Thomas in the Circus. I think it's the 2005 to 2007 DVD. I did put the 2 different Hey Entertainment logo. One is the old logo, and one is the new logo. So yeah, I just put it up just in case, because the content doesn't show the new logo, it shows the old Hit Entertainment logo still. Well, this is Thomas and Skarloey's Big Day Out. The DVD sampler is actually originally called Just Thomas and Friends. Sampler DVD is actually just Thomas and Friends in 2008. Alright. And that's the Thomas real copy DVD contents. Now we'll move on to the real homemade DVD content. Some homemade Thomas DVDs that I did not make them, actually, and some of them I made them. Some of these Thomas homemade DVDs itself, some of these I'm going to show you right now, I did not make them, and they never had DVD releases, and they only had just VHS tapes. Alright, here's the one that had the VHS only. Here's the take-along VHS version of Thomas and Friends Double Trouble, a homemade DVD from 2023 to 2022/2025 homemade DVD, which the VHS was from 2003. Yeah, it was taken from a 2003 VHS. I believe this might be the first sampler Thomas VHS. And here's Thomas and Friends Soldier Stories. The DVD is actually Fun with Thomas, but the VHS version of Wooden Thomas Railway, it's actually Soldier Stories 2 Thomas Adventures. Yeah. And instead of just stopping the disc after it, and it just starts over, it repeats it. yeah, then the fun with Thomas and Tom. So yeah, and here's Thomas and Friends, Thomas's Train Yard Adventures, which, yeah, it's a video sampler which never had DVD release, just the VHS only version. Yeah. Here's my two of the George Carlin versions of Thomas Gets Tricked. Here's the 1995 George Carlin VHS version. And by the way, these are actually my homemade DVDs I made. Thomas Gets Tricked with extra episodes. It's the same thing like the rare 1995 George Carlin VHS from Video Treasures. And here's Thomas Gets Tricked and Other Stories George Carlin version, which is just like the Netflix version. Yeah. I just pretend this probably pretend this was a 2007. It's actually a custom Thomas DVD, but George Carlin. Here's the three of these Thomas custom DVDs that never custom homemade Thomas DVDs that had VHS tapes that never had a DVD release. Here's Tenders and Turntables and Other Stories. Yep, Tenders and Turntables and Other Stories. Thomas Breaks the Rules and Other Stories. Custom DVD. Better Late Than Never. Oh, Nate, the Game Media 2006 thought that when I watched on the streaming, they thought there is a DVD, but they never did actually. Just the VHS only. Here's Thomas's Christmas Party. I did not make this homemade custom DVD. Someone did that before they uploaded archive. Just download it and burn a disc. Yeah, it's actually, yep, Thomas's Christmas Party. And here's Thomas Meets the Queen, which someone made that recordable homemade DVD as well, which I did not make this. Yeah, it's just uses the 1997 VHS still uses the same content as the 1997 VHS. So it still uses the same content as the 1994 VHS, but the DVD version. So yeah, and there's no closed captions on it either. And here's now we'll move on to the actual custom. Now we'll move on to the real actual custom Thomas DVDs, which are the actual custom ones, the fan-made ones. Here are the Best of Toby. I have 2 copies of Best of Toby. This copy does not include the special attraction. This one did include special attraction, which I just want to add the special attraction. For some reason, that raw file on Internet Archive of Best of Toby with name boards is no longer available on Internet Archive. I'm glad I saved that, so I might re-upload an archive. Here's Best of Henry. I have 2 copies of Best of Henry, 2024 homemade DVD. Custom DVD of Best of Henry. This is actually the first. This is when I record my DVD recorder, and this one I just use the DVD editor thing. I have 2 copies of Best of Henry. Well, actually, mostly 3. I have all 3 copies of Best of Henry. 2 copies of Best of Toby, which include the special attraction on it. Here's the custom DVD of Best of Edward. And for some reason, it was formatted widescreen, but with widescreen with 2 bars, but it's kind of full screen. But if I change the pan scan, it'll work on full screen. But yeah. Best of Edward. Here's Best of Duck. Custom DVD of Best of Duck. Roundhouse Rhythms. It's a custom DVD, but they pretend it was a 2004 DVD, but it's custom. The Gold Link DVD. Roundhouse Rhythms. Sing along which is some season 6 sing along songs with 2 season 6 episodes. And here's Thomas's Train Yard Tracks, which is from 2006, which is from season 7 songs and 2 season 6 episodes. No, it's 2 of the season 7 Michael Brandon episodes, Thomas episodes. I have 2 more left in there: the Best of Bill and Ben and the Best of Duncan. I really wish maybe someday I might do the custom Best of Sir Topham Hatt and Best of Donald Douglas soon. I hope some will. If they did, I will have to make my own. Because the custom Best of collection was very cool. Yeah. And last but not least is this one. Here's my very first Thomas DVD that I burned, which is Best of James. This is the one the intro's kind of messed up. Yeah. Best of James. Thomas and His Friends Help Out 2003 DVD. It's actually an ISO copy. I just copied this off from this DVD. I didn't use Internet Archive this time. I didn't burn it using Archive. It was burned off from this DVD actually. So yeah. I just copy this. I don't think I showed it in the update video. I think I will have to do this on a DVD update. Yeah. I have another copy of the complete first season of the early years. Here's disc 1, the early years. Well, I was going to burn disc 3 on this, but I actually burned disc 1, so I decided to make 2 other copies since I accidentally burned disc 1. So yeah, here's disc 2. Here's disc 3. I'm sure if it worked. It might still work okay, but I'm not sure if I have any problems. Here's disc 3 of which is Fun and Games of the early years. Here's my 2 of my homemade reprint homemade copies, my own copies. Here's Thomas and the Special Letter, my own homemade copy only. My own homemade copy version only of Thomas and the Special Letter. And here's Trackside Tunes, my homemade copy as well. Splish Splash Splosh, but for some reason it's actually also a homemade DVD copy, but I did not make this. I did not make this actually. I didn't realize this might be a homemade copy when I first checked it. I just downloaded it and burned a disc. It didn't work on a regular DVD player, but it did work on a Blu-ray player. And finally is Creaky Cranky, which did not work properly. So yeah, it's messed up. Alright. That was there you have it. These are my updated Thomas and Friends DVD collection. There you have it. And I hope I'm planning to get more Thomas DVDs soon. Next time I'm going to get the regular Thomas DVDs. I have to get the original 2005 DVD of Thomas and Friends Silver Celebration and Track Stars and Come Ride the Rails on DVDs. I might and I'm gonna get a 3 box that shows 3 Thomas DVD box that includes Track Stars, Tales from the Tracks, and Come Ride the Rails. So even though I have Tales from the Tracks on DVD, I already have that, but I might get rid of one soon if I did have another copy of Tales from the Tracks. So yeah, there you have it. These are all my Thomas and Friends DVDs that I have recently. And yes, I will make more Thomas and Friends DVDs. Which next time I'll burn a disc, I have to use Dinos. I think it's the one with dinosaurs. So yeah, on it. Which I'll be probably coming up soon. But if it didn't work, probably I'll make my own copy instead. Which I do have the Thomas DVDs. I have the trailer, so I thought I did make my own. I'm planning to get some Thomas movies, which is The Great Race. I remember I used to have the motorized Thomas that were from The Great Race, but I never watched The Great Race. I never owned The Great Race on DVD, which I'm planning to have The Great Race on DVD. So yeah, there you have it. Those are my Thomas DVD collection. My updated Thomas and Friends DVD collection. That was a long video, and there was actually all 6 parts. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.